Hi guys, and welcome back to another video, or welcome if this is your first time here. My name is Dana. I am a homeschooling mama to 4 little ones. This coming school year, I will have a 3rd grader, a 2nd grader, a little up-and-coming preschooler, and a 2-year-old who is so excited to be into all of the little homeschool things. I feel like it's been a while since I sat down and kind of done a chatty video. My last video was a day in the life, and that was filmed a couple weeks in advance. And it's been a couple of weeks since that one, so yeah, I feel a little bit rusty for some reason, so I might be a little bit all over the place. Anyway, as you can tell from the title, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of my recent purchases, specifically things that I got at some homeschooling conventions. If you guys are new here, my husband and I, along with our 4 little ones, have been to quite a few different homeschooling conventions this year. And so in an upcoming video, I thought it would be fun to give you a very detailed look at exactly what the different conventions are. Like there's the great homeschooling conventions, there's Teach Them Diligently, as well as the state specific, like the state-run organizations. And so I thought it would be fun to kind of contrast and compare the different ones, highlight some pros and cons of each one. So in case you are wanting to attend a homeschooling convention, you get an idea of maybe if you wanted to travel to a destination, what that might look like versus your own local state might look like. So I thought that would be a fun video. Anyway, today though, I'm going to be sharing with you all of the little things that I picked up the past 4 to 5 months while attending these conferences. It's not a ton, like I didn't buy a ton, but there is quite a few things that I wanted to highlight and things that I took note of that I just loved, and that even though I'm not using now, I would definitely consider using in the future for me personally, whether that be curriculum or products and things like that, that I really just fell in love with. I thought they were beautifully done, so I wanted to highlight those businesses and those just products, and I thought it'd be a fun way to do that. So one more thing I wanted to say before we jump into the video is I had to say a huge thank you to every single mama who came up and introduced herself to me. I met some just incredible people. We've been to Massachusetts, Ohio, South Carolina, Virginia, Texas. Where else have we been? Pennsylvania, all kinds of places. When I do my sit-down video about talking about all the different shows that we attended, I'll remember all the states. Anyway, I have to thank you guys for coming up and saying hello. You absolutely made my day, and you blessed me and encouraged me in ways that I am just very humbled by, but also encouraged by, because now whenever I am sitting down here in front of the camera, I feel like I know who I'm talking to now. And so that in of itself is such a huge blessing, because sometimes it can feel like you're just talking to a blank space, but now I have these incredible, just like incredible women that I'm talking to now that I can picture who they are. And I just wanted to thank you for that, because you took this experience from me talking to just an empty camera and not knowing who I'm talking to now I'm talking to these people that I've met and that I've seen and that are such a blessing and an encouragement. So yeah, thank you guys again for doing that, because by talking to you and actually meeting some of my audience, it makes it feel totally different to me for some reason. So thank you for that. Anyway, with all that being said, I'm going to finally stop making this introduction longer than it has to be, and let's get into today's video. So the first purchase that we made, and I want to say this was back when we went to Cincinnati, Ohio, or Greenville, South Carolina. I don't remember which one exactly. But the brand is NURCS, or the company is called NURCS. I want to say that's how you pronounce it. It's NURCS, and it is a craft stick creativity kit. The actual NURCS themselves are made in the US, and you can get any popsicle sticks or craft sticks that you have on hand. You can use them and just purchase the NURCS separately. But I love these, and they have been so much fun. So I took the actual NURCS themselves out, and I'm going to try to show you without dumping them out. But what I ended up doing is just putting these in a little wooden bowl, and I leave them on our dining room table. And then these I just toss in our drawer, which is right next to our dining room table. The reason why I leave them out is because sometimes when you have something like this, the kiddos can forget about them if they're put away up in a cabinet somewhere. But leaving these out, it sparks their creativity. So sometimes they'll just sit down and be like, oh, I want to do that, you know? So there's a lot of things in our home that I leave out intentionally, so to remind them to be creative or give them the option. So whenever they say, oh, I'm bored or don't have anything to do, they just have little things throughout the home that kind of sparks their imagination, but also sparks that kind of play, or self-directed play, I should say. So I leave these out on our dining room table now, and a lot of times, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 times a week, they've been gravitating towards this, because it is an open-ended thing, kind of similar to our magnet tiles that we keep out. Very similar idea, where they can take this, grab their little popsicle sticks and create, and they just have so much fun. So I had to highlight these as being one of our favorite purchases. And I believe they were $21, I believe. I think my biggest or most expensive purchase at the homeschool shows was definitely the set of the Charlotte Mason Elementary Arithmetic. I got books 2 and 3. So this is definitely my most expensive curriculum purchase, especially since all the curriculum that I've done so far has been very affordable, whether that be our CLE Light units or like simple textbooks and things like that. So it was quite the investment, but I'm really happy that I did make it. And I did already go into detail on this when I was talking about my curriculum picks. However, I am going to do a designated flip through video and a detailed look inside of these in an upcoming video. But I'm sharing them in here because it was something that I did purchase at one of the shows. Another thing that I got to go along with them, and I mentioned these, I believe it was my 3rd grade curriculum pick videos, but not 2nd grade, if I remember correctly. But they are the number sentence cards. So the reason why I'm mentioning the number sentence cards again is because each sentence card has 6 problems on it, which is going to make me flow into the next favorite purchase. That is from the company Chock-full of Design. And these 2 chalkboards, I got one for my 2nd grader and one for my 3rd grader, is they have a spot for 6 problems, which I thought would align just perfectly with the Simply Charlotte Mason math, is because I can take the number sentence cards, give it to my student with a chalkboard with a little chalk pencil, and be like, okay, go ahead and fill this out, and mommy walks away. It's something fun. It takes them a moment to be engaged instead of just writing something in their notebook or doing something orally. It's just something fun that if I do need to walk away, this is something that they can look forward to, and I just love them. So one of my favorite books that we found, and I think I did a YouTube short on this, so I won't talk too much about it, but it's Frog's Rainy Day Story and Other Fables. My kids love fables. They love fun little animal stories. And for one, the illustrations are beautifully, beautifully done. I believe it was the husband and wife team that put it together, and the wife illustrated all the pictures. But I had to share it because at the end of each beautifully done little fable, you're going to have a section that says what the culture says versus what God's word says. And I love that. You're going to really almost dive deep into apologetics, biblically sound scriptural aspects, and I love it so, so much. So if you're wanting a fable that is, again, engaging and funny to read with the kiddos, as a lot of fables are, not only have the meaning of the story, but then go into the biblical aspect, highly recommend. It's beautifully done. Another thing that I did share in my family curriculum picks video, but I'll share here because again, it was a convention purchase, that is the Little Pilgrims Progress, the illustrated version. I wanted to go through the Pilgrims Progress with my kiddos this year, and when I found this version, I knew this is the one I wanted to do just because it is so beautifully done and more for their age, I should say. So I have this, and I also picked up a couple of the Little Pilgrims Progress, the color and activity book. So this is going to be for my 2nd and 3rd grader. They can pull one of these out, for if we're reading this, they can do this. But honestly, when I'm doing read alouds, a lot of the times they just rather be doing their Legos, Magna-Tiles, coloring, art, things like that. But I'm super excited to start this probably mid-August if I had to guess when we'll start this. I believe I got this from Answers in Genesis. It's from the Answers Bible curriculum. But this is Truths for Toddlers. I love this. I did share this again in my curriculum picks video. A lot of the stuff that I have in that video was purchased at homeschooling conventions. But I love this. Again, it's really, really big. I don't know if you'll be able to see it all. But they do have giant posters in here that you can fold out. Those little seeds of biblical truth that you can start implanting in your toddler's heart at such a young age. Hello! A couple of other things that I got specifically for my toddlers, and I forget the name of the vendor, so I'm going to have it linked down below. And then I'm also going to insert what these are. But this is the little counting flower. This was so, so cute, and I was super excited to come across it because as my toddlers are learning their numbers and putting things in sequence order and things like that, I thought this is such a cute little find. Again, I'll insert clips of these up close so you can get a better idea. And then from that same company, I also got my toddler the entire alphabet, which is also very, very beautifully done. And the last thing I got for her, again, from the same company, this is a mama who made all of the little cupcakes here, the letters, flowers, everything. The other thing that she also makes is she makes these little cupcakes, and I got them for my toddler as well because they're just so, so cute. And my toddler loves any food type place. So I got these just as something fun. So another company that I wanted to highlight is the company called Bookish Sensory Play. I believe I came across them when we were in Florida, and I loved their idea and their concept. I ended up purchasing their little beehive kit, and everything that comes with the kit includes a book called Beehive, but you also get like the little Play-Doh, you get little beehive cutouts, you can get like anything you want and anything imaginable when it comes to sensory things that have like the beehive theme. But what this company does is take a book, and one of my favorite things is it has to do with like either nature or some little animal thing, and they create sensory kits to go along with it. Your little ones love stories and love reading them over and over again, and they want to like make that come to life. This company does a phenomenal job in doing that. They create sensory kits again to go along with the story, and I love it so much. So I wanted to highlight this one. If you are a mama who likes magazines or magazine subscriptions and you want something that is homeschool themed, inspired, and really meant to encourage you and uplift you and really help you in your motherhood homeschooling journey, this is Homeschooling Today. It's a beautifully done magazine, a very high quality magazine that you can subscribe to. I know the author and publisher behind this, and she is such an incredibly sweet mama. But this is encouragement and practical help, and I just love it so much. So if you do want something that is going to come to your doorstep where it's going to be a source of just encouragement away from social media and the online thing, then I highly recommend checking this magazine out. Baby woke up, so now we have a little guest for the rest of the video. The other things I wanted to mention are just companies that really stood out as far as their curriculum and that I really did love, and even though I'm not using it now, I would definitely consider using them in the future. One of them, and I want to say this was at a Teach Them Diligently convention, but the vendor is called Grammar of Grace. And I loved the concept of this and the idea of this. It is a very Charlotte Mason-esque type program, but your core curriculum or the core thing that you're going to be reading throughout the whole school year is just straight, it's just the Bible. So you're going to be reading the Bible from cover to cover. You have the mama reading the scripture in the Bible, and then you have the grade specific guides to go with it. But it was so beautifully done. It's incredibly detail oriented, and again, the family that owns this company, or at least was representing the company, is just so sweet and knowledgeable about the curriculum. And I had to highlight it because it just really stood out, very much stood out to me as far as a future grammar curriculum that I would love to use, or a kind of complete overall language arts curriculum, I should say. But anyway, it's Grammar of Grace. I highly recommend checking it out if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in. The next curriculum I fell in love with, and one I was very tempted to just go all in on, like literally from their reading to their math. The only reason why I didn't is I've mentioned in my curriculum picks videos that my second and third grader are very close. And when it comes to choosing curriculum, I kind of know that I'm going to have to do the same across the board for both, because whatever one does, the other one wants to follow, and vice versa. So I had already decided for my soon-to-be second grader that we're going to be doing, the Charlotte Mason math and doing a little bit different than CLE. And so I knew that I would be kind of having to buy the same things for my third grader because, again, they want to do everything like the other person does. Anyway, this curriculum is called Generations, and I know it's starting to pick up a lot in the homeschool community. A lot of people absolutely just love it, and I highly agree. Because I've never really seen it in person, but once I did and I got to flip through the reading program, I got to see their math, I was just blown away. It was phenomenal. I've never seen a curriculum that interweaves the Bible so much and so beautifully as this one does. It's sound, it's thorough, yeah, it's gentle, and it's just, everything points back to the Creator, and I love it so much. The only reason, and I will be honest, because I saw Generations curriculum before I was fully settled on the Charlotte Mason math, there was only one reason, and that is that they did not have a third grade math available yet. They had their kindergarten, and I think first, and then their second one just got released last month. So I was like, oh man, if their third grade math had been already released, I would have gone with that one for sure. It is still, it is workbook related, but it again, it interweaves the Bible and God and science so much that I just fell in love with it. So it's beautifully sound and still being gentle, and it would be my top pick again if they had those little bit of a higher grade available. So you've heard me talk about the McGuffies a lot on my channel, and if you're wanting something that's similar, only you also want something that's more hands-on, interactive, and more play-based, and not so just textbook only, I highly recommend this next one. It's called Play and Talk, Phonics and Spelling, and when I flipped through it, it was very similar to the McGuffies, especially the pictorial primer. Very similar to the kind of methods, the methods behind it. This is another type vintage program, and I love it so much. I love it. So it definitely has more games. It's definitely hands-on while also instilling like those high character values, and it's just, again, well done. And it is non-consumable. So the idea is that you could purchase this once, especially if you're starting out homeschooling, if you like the concept, and if it works well for your family and your student, you could essentially use it for every single child and pass it down to the next generation because it's non-consumable. So it would be considered, in my eyes, to be an investment because it is a little bit pricey. But if your family does like more play-based learning, I think you guys would like it. So the next one is actually an art program, and I cannot talk highly enough about it. I've seen this company for years, and I'm always blown away by the results that they have produced when it comes to just the overall skill that these little tiny kids can have all the way up through like when you graduate high school, going into college prep. Like, it's incredible, the art program that this company offers. It's called Creating a Masterpiece. The only reason why we are not doing it is a little bit pricey. I will go ahead and say it is a little bit expensive. However, if you do have multiple kids of multiple ages and they all want to do art, I would say it's 100% worth the investment. For us right now, I would only have my second grade little girl who would really be into it. My third grader is not really into doing art right now. So for us, it wouldn't be worth the investment just for one. But I can see as we get into middle school and we start having more art type things, and it's not just drawing and painting, but there's also like wood burning, there's clay pottery, there's glass art, there's like all these different categories. So if you have an artsy type family where you have more than one student that you would think that would benefit from doing it, I highly recommend. I don't think there's a better one out there, honestly, just because it's just so well done. It's so well done. Anyway, that's Creating a Masterpiece art program, and I can't talk highly enough about it. So I'm going to mention two more things, and I'm going to let you guys go because I'm sure this video is plenty long. But the next one is called War Chest Boutique, and I got a couple pieces of jewelry from them. I want to say it was in Massachusetts, but it's pretty affordable, and you're supporting a wonderful cause. This is a company that is essentially employing traffic victims. So women that have been saved out of the trafficking, they've kind of given them jobs and they create this jewelry. So if you're wanting to get a few more pieces, I'm very minimal when it comes to my jewelry. I only have maybe like 3 necklaces and then a few pairs of earrings that I wear, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, one of the necklaces that I bought was from this company, and I love the idea behind them. So one of the pendants that I have is a little tiny gold heart with like a little crystal inside of it, and it has the Bible verse, and it even shows the lady that helped put it together and her like rescue story or traffic story. And I love that. I love supporting the cause. I love supporting these women. And it's very different than just going onto Amazon and getting a pair of earrings. It's honestly very price comparable, but you're supporting such a good cause. So I highly recommend, if you have even people with birthdays coming up for Christmas, or if you just want to add either a set of earrings or a necklace to what you already have, I highly recommend checking them out. You're going to be supporting such a beautiful cause. And that's something that I feel like can't compare to anywhere else out there when it comes like the big box stores. You're supporting something so beautiful. So I had to mention, again, it's the War Chest Boutique. I will have that website linked down below for you to check out. So the next one I wanted to mention, and something that I was so close to buying, and I didn't make it to the booth before closing, otherwise I probably would have. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who you ask. But that is a company called Ruby Reads Books. And guys, these are some of the most like thoughtfully done posters that I have ever seen when it comes to unit studies. I'm going to insert a clip here of the booth layout. So I almost got, and again I said I almost got the Secret Garden poster because my kids love the story of the Secret Garden, and I also almost got the Charlotte's Web poster. But these are thoughtfully designed posters, so if your kiddos are in the process of doing a unit study with any novels, these posters are designed to go along with those books, and I love the concept, I love the idea, I love everything about them. For example, on the Secret Garden poster, you're going to have even a little section where you can write down little different flower names that you've learned, vocabulary. It's going to give you writing prompts so you can think about, like, think of the character of Mary. How did her character start out in the beginning of the story versus how did she end? Like, what was the character growth and development? that you notice in the story. So there's going to be thought-provoking questions. It's going to be like very intricate. So while you're reading the story and making the book come alive, your kiddos can be sitting around the table and drawing on this large poster. You can keep the poster on a wall so where your whole unit study will come to life. And I think it's such a beautiful thing when you can like have those little things come, you know, I guess that's what I'm saying, is come to life. And I love this. So you can have, I do believe they have like the wild robot. They have really just any novel imaginable they have. So I wanted to highlight this as being something very unique and something that I haven't really seen on the homeschool market much. Anyway, it's a Ruby Reads books. I highly recommend. I will have her Instagram page as well as her website linked below, because this is such an enrichment thing for if you are doing that novel type unit study. I was blown away by them, honestly. So I think that was everything I wanted to share with you guys. I could be here all day talking about all the little things that I saw and came across and loved, but again, the video cannot last forever, unfortunately. Do let me know down below. I know I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I would be sharing kind of a detailed look at all the homeschool conferences, kind of my thoughts and opinions on each one. But I want to go ahead and ask you guys if that's even something that you'd be interested in as you plan for next year, as far as what destination to go to, what one to go to or travel to, what it's like going to them and things like that. So let me know if that's something that you would like to see as you're planning and budgeting for the upcoming year, and you guys can start planning accordingly. I know a lot of different homeschool conferences will have like early bird discounts and early bird sales. And that's something to keep an eye out to. You can follow their Instagram pages based on the destination you want to go to as a family, or even as a mama and you want to just get away and just get your cup filled with homeschool encouragement. I highly recommend attending one. They are just such an encouragement. And I think one of the best things about them is you see thousands of people that are all walking the same path. And there's really no other event or area in my life anyway where I go and see so many homeschoolers on the same journey as you in one location. And that to me is always mind-blowing when you go and see that many people striving to just be different and to raise their family up in the Lord. And just, I love it so much. So that's one of my favorite things about them, is the huge sense of community and realizing that, wow, I'm not alone at all in this journey. And I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until my next one, you guys have a great day, whatever you're doing. God bless. Bye, guys.